Hey, Net Builders, thanks for joining us. This is our first in-person actual interview here. I didn't know if you knew that.
I did not know that. I'm glad to be part of it.
Yeah. So today we have a great friend of mine and a great entrepreneur and business owner known all throughout Tacoma. If you are in Tacoma, you probably know him as the Water Guy. So this is Greg Snyder.
Hello, everybody.
Allen Water. And we have Jennifer hiding from the camera here. And it's great to have you on the show today, Greg.
Thank you for having me.
Would you like to tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Greg Snyder. He talked about the company we own. I'm an entrepreneur here in Tacoma, and the company was called Alam Water, and that's A-L-A-M, Water, and that's an acronym for what the water that we have here is. It's alkalized, which is A-L, antioxidant is the next A, and then microstructured is the M. That's how we came up with the name Alam Water. But we help people with health and wellness here. We basically, don't consider myself a salesman. I consider myself an educator because, as you remember, you came in here a while back and I showed you some of the things that the machines do and the technology we have here.
Definitely.
And did you learn something you didn't know?
Definitely.
And that's what's true of a lot of people. Most Americans kind of have their blinders on and they just keep going through life without thinking about, maybe the chlorine in my water or the pesticides on their fruits and vegetables or the sugar in their foods or whatever. And we kind of just go over all that stuff and educate people and show them what we have here.
Definitely.
So.
And we'll definitely your presentation, we'll definitely have that in the link in the description. So you guys make sure you check that out. I watched it, I think 3 times now. And every time that I watch it, I learn something new, something that I've never considered before, but it's definitely worth to check out, and I would check it out for you. But
So my story is I was an auto mechanic for Chevrolet for 34 years. I got introduced to this technology, I call it, about 6 years ago, and my why moment was when I realized there was oil-based pesticides, insecticides, and herbicides on my rice, my strawberries, my blueberries, my tomatoes that I didn't know. 53 years old, who knew? And as many as 26 on tomatoes, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So when I saw that this technology could rinse those off and make them taste better and last longer in my refrigerator, I was down. I was on a little bit of a mini health journey. And so I didn't want to do what I'm currently doing because I had a comfortable job for 34 years at a company, Chevrolet. But after sharing out of love and compassion this technology with people started to get machines, and then I started to get thank you checks, and that's how it works. So, and within 2 years from getting my machine, I was free of a job. So, and then in my 3rd year, we opened the store that he showed you in the beginning of this video. We did that in our 3rd year in Magic. Yeah.
Nice. And I love when you tell the story about how initially you were not on board with it.
Yeah, I skipped that part, but yes, when the guy that helped me, Carlos Gonzalez, showed me this and I signed up and I ordered mine, he was telling me, I've been doing this 7 years, I fly first class all over the world, it's a great business opportunity if you're in, and I actually said, absolutely not, you're a vampire, I want nothing to do with it. I was being selfish and greedy, which is not usually my nature. I want it for me and my family. But then when I shared with just the first few people in my life, they got them. My pastor was the first one, my ex-mother-in-law was the second one, and my neighbor. All they did was try the water, got educated by what I told them, and they saw the value of a living a healthy lifestyle. And then I got some thank you checks back from an addict. That's how this works. And that's when I called Carlos back, and I'm like, hey, how do you do what you do? Get some drugs, give away free water, let people try it, educate them, and the ones that are interested are great. The ones that aren't, you let them go.
And I think that's such a great thing. A lot of my content that I post is urging entrepreneurs to give value to their prospects, to their potential prospects, potential clients.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you don't have to be a salesman to do what you do. All you do is just provide upfront value and educate them, and they willingly walk in the door. I think we were having a conversation before where you said, I've never sold one of these machines before.
Well, I've sold some, but I have only actually, on my main machine, I know that's going to be confusing to you. My top machine, they're all billable as franchises. I only have 8 sales connected to that. Mm-hmm. So I directly sold 8 people. But then it grew where Nancy sold to Bob, who sold to Sue, who sold to Jennifer.
I mean, never.
But I've never asked anybody
you
to
have
buy.
To buy this.
I've never. Okay, that's what you were trying to get at. So back up. He's right. We've never said, okay, RJ, you've had the water for 2 months. You've seen it all. You've learned it all. Are you ready to buy today? I don't do that.
Yeah.
And
that's the power of providing that education.
Correct.
I think that's amazing.
Correct.
So I have a question in my head.
Okay, that's okay. Well, we'll go back. You've learned some things, and you don't have a machine quite yet, but
I will fix that soon.
Do you want one?
Yes.
See?
Yes.
So.
I'll tell you, after the first time that I tried it, I actually went through the presentation that we were talking about earlier. And oh man, I eat tomatoes, and it just so happens I get my tomatoes from Costco. And during the demonstration, he uses Costco tomatoes and he rinses the tomatoes off, and you watch all of the different pesticides. I mean, this water literally turns brown, and he just rinses it off. And I'm like, every time my wife brings home tomatoes, I'm like, where'd you get those? I don't want them. She's like, but you love tomatoes. I'm like, not anymore. And not till I can rinse them properly. But
we'll help you with that in time.
Yes. This
will
happen.
Time is right.
This will happen.
Yeah. So you're what I call a not now. Yeah. And we've had many, trust me, many. I think Jennifer was in here, it was about maybe a year ago now. Some guy walks in the door, then she didn't know him, but I had met him about 9 months earlier. And he says, I'm ready to get my machine. And she says, well, how did you meet? I won't mention his name. Met him 9 months ago, but every time after educating him, every time I went to get a bottle of water, every time I went to drink a tap water, every time I ate a tomato, every time I had a blueberry or strawberry, everything about what he learned, he cringed. But he told us that time wasn't right for him. He was going through divorce, switching jobs, kids, moving houses. But 9 months later, everything lined up, and he comes in here, gets one. And so
it's almost impossible to ignore it. Once you do actually see it, it's almost impossible to ignore it.
You can't unlearn what you've learned.
Exactly. That's actually, I think that's the best way of saying that. You cannot unlearn that. It's like, you just got to deal with that now. And every time that you run your tap water and you drink it, you're like, I'm sorry, body. I'm sorry. Even if you feel like you're doing your body a service by going and buying some spring water, and it's like, it's still not the right stuff to put in. It's still so from leaving your place of employment to come in and to being a business owner, and you're actually doing a great job. You're doing a great job. What are some of the benefits that come with that lifestyle?
Well, the first benefit was relieving the stress. Now, I know you all can kind of appreciate how automobiles have come to be these days. They're so sophisticated now they're driving themselves. Can you imagine being the guy that says, hey, when I'm driving, but the car's off of driving, and I hit a little bump in the road, it veers to the right an inch. How are you going to fix that as a mechanic? They're just so sophisticated, and they've been going that way since, a long time. So as a mechanic, my goodness, a lot of stress. And I cared about my work. I've always cared about what I do. That's why I care about this. But I took it home, if you had your car and it was some issue that I didn't figure out that day, I'm thinking about it at night, not sleeping and all that. So all that stress went away. Having someone, if I'm 5 minutes late, take me in the office and yell at me, that went away. They want me to stay on a Saturday, take me in the office. Hey, I know it's your day off and you're going to go somewhere with your kids. Can you come in and fix this guy's Corvette? So all that went away. And then really the next thing that blew me away was my freedom. I could sleep in till 9, 10, 11, stay up all night and watch movies. Whatever, but now I didn't just do that, obviously, because I wanted to grow the business I jumped into.
So how did that mind shift come about? I'm glad that you went into that, because a lot of people that leave the 9-to-5 life and then go into business for themselves, they really have a hard time. You don't have a supervisor breathing down your back anymore. So everything that you do has to be motivated and purely driven by your want to grow your business. So how did that transition go for you?
Well, I wanted to, since I had 3 people invest in this technology and I got a little thank you checks back, I wanted to know how the guys that were doing it, that were 8, 10, 15 years or whatever, how are you guys doing it? And they were helpful with watching videos, like YouTube videos of maybe Grant Cardone or Eric Worre, and many, many more about, I had to go out and get 20 no's in an evening. And people might go, what's a no? That means you met enough people in your day that 20 of them said, no, I'm not at all interested in trying your water or hearing about your opportunity. And then my guy went out with me, about I guess it was almost in a year, and he got me, we would just literally go into a little store like this, the place across the street, a car dealership, a chiropractor. We would bring him a couple gallons of water. We'd go in there and say, is anybody into health and wellness? And find, that's Mark over there. He's a cyclist. He's really into that. And focus on them, get some business cards, reach out. Then we started doing events, like we would go to a gym. I wasn't even a member of the gym, 24 Fitness, obviously. And I just meet the manager and say, hey, do you have any kind of a customer appreciation day? Oh, we have them every month. Would you be opposed to me coming in there and giving some people water and educating them a little bit? No, not at all. So things like that, it was baby steps in the right direction. But the biggest thing, I think, was believing that I could get somewhere and not quitting. When I started, I guess I got to about 4A or 5A, which you guys aren't going to know, but to the mid ranks of the company that I'm in, I guess they'll say. I met some in the higher ranks. They're like, I thought when I got here, the whole world would change, and the angels would sing and on. But I told her, no, it's a business. Mm-hmm. If you have a restaurant or whatever, you've got to put the time in, get the right people, do the right thing, and be a part of it for a long period of time until it runs itself, Mm-hmm. And so, yeah. So that's, I guess, the answer to my question. A lot of people, maybe including Jennifer, think, I've got it made. We just had 2 sales pop in on the blue today. And they're like, he's so lucky, he just does nothing and all these sales come. But I put in my time of some weeks having to eat top ramen and be up till midnight trying to better myself, or running all over the city or any city, or we've been in Canada, we've been in Vegas doing the same thing. But I put in that time to get where I am now. So everyone, like you said in the beginning, if you run into anybody, that Rick Snyder, oh, that's the water guy.
Yep, the water guy.
They all know me as that, and I'm happy to be that. Yeah. So I'm at a comfortable place, but I don't stop ever. If I'm out tonight at a grocery store and I meet somebody and the opportunity is right without bugging them, maybe they're putting a rock star on the counter and going to buy that, I might say, hey, do you know what's in that? Are you interested in health and wellness, or do you want to eat that poison for the rest of your life? And if they have an interest, I'll give my card and say, let's talk down the road. Yeah. So, and it might be someone at Costco. I got kicked out of Costco twice in the parking lot. They sell those everything in giant. Well, they have those giant carts, those pallets, I guess, that move. And these people would have water bottles stacked, hundreds of them and hundreds. Them walking across the parking lot. Sir, looks like you like water. Guess what? I have a better opportunity for you. Better healthy water. So, yeah, the security guards, I guess you're not supposed to solicit. And it wasn't 2 Costco's, it was the same one twice. Because I moved from over here to over there, but I didn't give up, Boom, I talked to that person, So, yeah. And again, I'm not pushy. I just interview people, find out what they like. And a big part of it, even though I'm talking a lot now, is listen to somebody. If I could tell anybody that's trying to be an entrepreneur, you want to use your 2 ears more than your mouth, because they're telling you a story. You're learning about them, their lives. And the more that, and you start from being someone you don't even know to maybe an acquaintance, to eventually becoming a friend, and then possibly a customer or colleague.
And I'm fortunate enough to know you before this interview. Mm-hmm. So every conversation that you and I have had, I've always learned something new, be it about health and wellness or just about life. You're a very insightful individual. Mm-hmm. So my next question I wanted to ask you is, what kind of content do you intake as far as literature? You mentioned Grant Cardone earlier, Eric Worre, or what
Sure.
you on the typical?
Well, I'm odd, which everyone that knows me will tell you. a lot of the richest people with the millionaires and billionaires in our world have done a lot of reading. I don't like to read, so I don't read much, but I do like watching videos and all that. And Eric Worre has been an amazing guy, because remember I said 20, he goes even over the top of that, and Grant Cardone and those guys just go, and look at him now. I mean, Eric Worre has this palace, a mansion, $14 million house in Las Vegas, and he probably has more than that, but he's got it going. So I guess the answer to that is I'm always looking for people that know more or are better than me to help me kind of keep going up the steps.
And I think that's actually such a great trait that you have, especially when you were talking about when you first started with Enagic. A lot of people think they go into an opportunity like that and they're afraid or prideful. I want to say it's more of pride to actually move up by learning from somebody who's come prior to you. So I think that was great the way that you would reach out to someone who's done it. A lot of people I can do it my own way, or they get some weird mentality.
I think it's pride. Yeah, I've got this thing on my ball, I'm going to run with it that way, and I didn't know. So I'm like, look at these guys. That guy, he flies 1A on Delta Airlines everywhere he flies, whether it be Japan, whether it be Philadelphia, whether it be Seattle, whatever. I'm like, dude, you always fly first class? Yeah, he goes, it's the first seat, or whatever. I'm the first on, I'm the first off. That's how it is. So when I saw that, I want to listen to this guy. He obviously knows what he's doing. But the beauty of Enagic, and I just on a phone call earlier, one of our, actually the world leader in it became 68147, which I know means nothing to you all here, but she's the highest in the world with Enagic sales. And they had a little party down in Los Angeles last week for her. But what the manager that from our Seattle office went, she told me it was so cool to go to this because everybody's happy. And every event I've ever been, all over the world, I've been in Okinawa, I've been in Tokyo, I've been in Vegas, that's what's happening. So I'm not saying that there isn't a few angry people out there doing this, but as a whole, the Enagic people that do what I do, they're uplifting. I didn't know how to rinse rice. We do the fruits and vegetables because we're usually more fruit and rice, but in India and China and all that, they eat more rice. So he tells me, why are you washing rice? I'm like, what do you mean? And so this guy, he's in Enagic too, he's a 4A, mid-level, years ago, says, get out some rice and try washing it with this water. And I was blown away. Now it's part of my demo. So a guy I don't even know who has no affiliation, it's really cool to be a part of this family. It's like the best company I've ever worked for, There's more happiness in this company, in my opinion, than in my own family or any job I ever had in my entire 58 years now of living. Wow. And that's important.
Yes.
Because you said, what are you doing to uplift? Other people are uplifting me. I don't even know.
Yeah. And what's the saying? Once you love doing what you do every day, it no longer becomes a job.
Exactly. And I do.
Yeah. Every time I see you, I come in here and you look like the happiest person in the world. You're like, hey, got another order. Hey, what you doing? Want some water? I'm just the happiest guy.
I don't get orders every day, It's all good. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm happy. Life is what you make it has always been my favorite saying, if there is one. I can wake up and say, oh, I don't have this, or I can wake up and say, look what I do have. Look where I live. I'm alive. I mean, from that I'm breathing again on down to, and I'm so grateful. We live in Washington. I'm sure this is going out through more than just that. But I'm so grateful for Mount Rainier, Every morning, every day, I ever see it whenever we drive, anywhere we go, oh my God, look at that beautiful mountain. I've been there hundreds and hundreds of times. I've hiked it, I've climbed it, not to the top, but all around. I appreciate it. I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for so many things in my life. Yeah. So it's like glass half empty, glass half full kind of thing. Obviously.
But that mentality is, that's gold.
It is.
That's
but
gold.
We probably shouldn't get into it here, but I had a dark place when I was younger. And I don't know if this is the time to say it or not, but
this is your experience.
Okay. Early on, I grew up in Chicago, was born in Chicago, and we moved here to Seattle area, Washington, and I hated it. All I wanted to do was move back to where the gangs and the violence and the, all the bad things were, because that's what I knew. And I was really depressed, and when I was 17, I was going to kill myself. But I realized for those 7 years, all I was thinking about was how can I get back to what I perceived as good, even though we all know what I mentioned is not good. But as a child, that's what I thought. But I realized,
It was familiar.
It was familiar.
Yeah.
What I realized was before I went to do what I was going to do, my friend stopped me, which was God intervening. But I realized that day, that minute, all I had been thinking about was, oh, woe me. I live in Washington. Oh, woe me. All these people are nuts with the camping and all the different things they do. But I didn't realize of any of the good things. I was not thinking of anything good. It was my attitude. I live in America. I have a car. I was 17, but I drove up here. The car was in my parents' name, but you know what I mean. It was mine. I paid for it. I went to school. I'm getting an education. I have brothers and sisters. I mean, it was baby steps is what I call it. So I started this, basically at age 17. Life is what I make it. I can make it good every day, or I can think, oh my God, I got all these bills, or I don't have a car. I mean, whatever it is. But I always try to think of the positive, and I've been doing baby steps all these years.
I have to adopt that attitude.
I met a lady, and I probably shouldn't get into all this. We won't get into it. Yeah. People that are depressed, in my opinion, I'll just put it this way, a lot of them could change that in little baby steps, whether they go out and get grounded, some fresh air, think better thoughts. It may not completely get better, but it's going to be a little better. You know what I'm saying? And the more you do that, the better it is. Because I was there. I could write a book. I was literally going to take my life at the age of 17 over unhappy thoughts. All I did was change those unhappy thoughts to happy thoughts. The littlest baby steps there were, and then just lived and breathed that.
Wow.
All these years.
And I think it's, when you say baby steps, I mean, a lot of people will hear you say it and say, that makes sense. But I think a lot of people are so hung up on instant gratification. I made the step that Greg just said, and why don't I see the immediate results right now?
Life is still going to happen. You're still going to have car accidents or rainy days or whatever it is. I know this is going to sound crazy. I love rainy days. I love to go out, and I haven't done it in a while, but just go out there and get soaking wet in the rain.
The rain here is amazing.
But other people won't even go out. Oh my God, we can't go to the mall today because it's raining. It's just how you look at something.
A few years ago we had that 57-day drought, and that's what made me realize how much I love the rain here.
True point. Again, during that drought, you want the rain.
Yeah. People
typically complain, and I'm not perfect. I do too. Today's 82 maybe out there. I don't know the day. Oh, it's so hot out. And the wind will be like, oh, it's so cold out. We love to kind of embellish and complain about whatever. Oh, it's so early. Oh, it's so late. It's our nature, a lot of us, and even me. I'm human, So.
And you know what? I want to take that and I want to bring that toward your reviews, because you have amazing reviews online. If you guys check them out on Google, we were taking a look at it a couple of days ago. Amazing reviews. And I think that the point that you just made a minute ago, I think that it's going to tie in, I promise. But people tend to give reviews, bad reviews, because you don't have to ask someone for their negative feedback on something.
They're just going to give it.
Exactly. They will, people will, every chance they get to bash something, they will take it. So I think that it's amazing how many great reviews you have on there. He got one bad review, and it wasn't even a legit bad review, and he was like, what the heck? But
I used to be able to say, ask me why I'm a 5-star Google review person. And about, 2 years ago, we weren't even open, and some guy gave us a 3-star review. It happens, it's like I said, life happens. Now I'm at 4.9 because of that one review, but all the other reviews, and I don't even know how many, there's 30 plus reviews or so. And blessed and grateful as heck that I've not asked you to do it or all these people. They just came, met me, saw my energy, saw this amazing technology, or what we have in the store. Maybe it's not that. Maybe they would like a shirt or a bottle or whatever. and they liked the way I treated them, and they went home and they didn't just click. In fact, I don't think short of that one guy, I believe all my other reviews have words, which means someone went in there, clicked the 5-star, but they took the time to say, it could be a sentence or two, or some of them are paragraphs where they're just saying what they believe about the store or my energy or whatever it is. So, and I know back 5, 6, 8 years ago, people would pay people or they would do them themselves. I'm going to go on my friend's AOL and give myself a review, or I'm going to go on someone else's whatever account. You know how that
Yeah, or you pretty much beg them. Please, please, I'm going to send you a text message. I'm going to check up on you again. Just give me a review, you know?
Yeah.
But for you not
we
to
don't
have
offer
to do so.
coupons. We don't pay anybody. I've never even asked somebody, hey, would you review me? So yeah, they're legit reviews.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I had to touch on that.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. Google, it wasn't really Google themselves, but there's a lot of reps that do Google, as you probably know, in different places around. I think it was our 3rd year, they were calling me and saying, look, I do this. I'm a rep to try to help people get good reviews, working with Google, and I got a toy store that's been open 7 years in Texas. They got 3 reviews, and they're not all good. You were new, and at the time it wasn't like it is now, but it was still in the 20s or 18. They're like, dude, you've only been open a year and a half, 2 years, and how are you doing your reviews? And I said, I'm not. I don't have an answer for that, sir. I just had an amazing product, an amazing attitude, an amazing store, and it happens, you know. So, again, knock on wood, grateful. I wake up grateful every day for everything, the reviews, the lifestyle I lead, and all that. And like I've told people, some of my what do you call them, social media things, is I'm loving the life that I have, and you all could be doing what I'm doing. In fact, several of the people, Jennifer's a good example, you maybe someday, lots and lots and lots of people that have invested in this technology are actually getting income from it. Yeah. Some of them, Jennifer quit her job and does this full time. Other people just get a little bit of something here and there. But who doesn't want more money once in a while, right?
Definitely. And lead a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly. So, I know I ramble.
No, you're fine.
But, yeah.
You're fine. You're fine. And you have I like to do at the end of the episode, the big takeaway.
A big takeaway of this?
Mm-hmm, for the audience.
A big takeaway. I've already given someone my biggest life thing.
I know you got
life is what you make it, but a big takeaway.
For them to become successful.
Well, okay, I'll tell you this, and it's mini takeaway maybe, but there was an event, and I won't mention the name, but it was at a local park that this 12-year-old girl put on. And she's an entrepreneur at 12 years old. She made some things and was selling them. And not only that, with her father's help, but mostly her, put on this event with hundreds of vendors. And I went up there to meet her, and my big takeaway, I guess, is what I would say is, I don't care what you're doing. That girl is doing some makeup and lotions. It could be hair. It could be selling shoes. You could be making donuts and cakes. Whatever it is, if you're passionate about it, don't quit. I told that little girl, I went and found her and said, you know what? You just started making this, but don't stop what you're doing. You're going to have some highs and some lows, but in 5 years' time, you're going to look back and go, oh my gosh, remember that day in the park, Dad, where we were brand new? Now, look, we're at Macy's or Nordstrom's or whatever. There's so many businesses started, you know, Boeing, Starbucks, Amazon.
Yeah.
With an idea of some guys that just wouldn't give up. Do you think Amazon had troubles in the beginning in their garage with shipping? And I don't remember. I think they started with shoes, but I'm not sure. But they didn't quit. And now look at them, you know. Yeah. So that would be my biggest takeaway. No matter what it is you're passionate about, whether it be magic, health and wellness, whether it be reselling shoes or whatever, as long as that's you, don't stop doing it and be passionate about it, and it will grow. So, yeah. I tell people, because a lot of people think of me like they say, it's so easy for you. I got scars, man. I get those. One of my favorite quotes is from Steve Harvey, jump. That's it, jump. He has many videos, he's done many, about the richest people in the world, or most successful. I won't say richness. Riches is nothing. Money's not happiness. We all know that.
Exactly.
Freedom, happiness, I'll give you that. But what he said is the most successful people in the world have jumped off that cliff. They hit some rocks, they hit some, boulders, they scuff their knees and their elbows doing their little thing, whether it be lawn mowing, car detailing, an adjunct, whatever it is. But if they stuck with it, he guarantees, he said, you're going to have a parachute that's going to open once you jump. At some point, could be 1 year, could be 5 years, could be 10 years, that thing's going to open up, you're going to go, oh my gosh, I can't believe. And so that would be my takeaway. Don't stop, jump. If you're waiting for you to lose your job or for that great thing to come along, find that great thing today, whatever that is for you, and jump off that cliff and never give up. So that's my biggest takeaway.
I love it.
Don't give up.
I knew you had one.
Yeah, I got
I think that was a great one.
Actually, I have a lot of them. I was just trying to think of which one I should say. And Steve Harvey's another guy that I watch a lot of his little, he does, many different things, but his speeches and things you can hear. And that's one of my favorites to say. Because in reality, I was on that cliff and I got pushed off in a way because I found something. I wasn't thinking, how am I going to not work anymore? I found something that allowed me not to work anymore. I'm blessed.
Definitely.
So,
Definitely.
Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being my friend.
Great guy.
Yeah.
You're a great guy. Thank you guys for joining us today. I promise you this will not be the last time he's on the show. There's always something more to learn from Greg, and thank you for being here today.
I can't thank you enough. Yeah, I've been waiting to do this.
That's my
No.
Thank you guys for joining us.
In a good way.